The first time anyone heard Ava Thompson sing, it wasn't in a grand concert hall or on a reality TV stage. It was on a cracked sidewalk in downtown Chicago, beneath a flickering streetlight that buzzed like it had its own restless dream. Ava was 19, with dark curly hair usually tied in a messy bun and a second-hand guitar that had more scratches than shine. Every evening after her shift at a small diner near Millennium Park, she would walk to the same corner, place her open guitar case on the ground, and sing. She didn't sing for money. She sang because if she didn't, her heart felt too heavy to carry. Ava grew up on the south side of Chicago in a neighborhood where sirens were more common than lullabies. Her father had once been a jazz musician who performed at small clubs along the Chicago River. He used to tell her stories about the golden days of music, about smoky rooms, clapping crowds, and how a single note could silence an entire bar. "Music isn't sound," he would say, placing her tiny fingers on piano keys. It's truth. But when Ava turned 12, her father passed away after a sudden illness. The piano was sold to pay hospital bills. The house felt quieter than it ever had before. Her mother worked 2 jobs after that, cleaning offices at night and cashiering at a grocery store during the day. There wasn't money for music lessons. There wasn't money for dreams. But there was always her father's old guitar. It had a crack running along its side, and 2 strings were slightly rusted. Ava taught herself through free online videos and by listening to old recordings of legends her father loved. She would sit by the window and practice until her fingers burned. In high school, she joined the choir. The first time she sang a solo, the entire auditorium went silent. Not because she was perfect, but because she was real. Her voice carried something fragile and fierce at the same time. Yet talent doesn't always equal opportunity. After graduation, while her classmates left for college in places like Los Angeles or New York City, Ava stayed behind. She couldn't afford tuition. She couldn't afford to leave her mother alone. So she worked at the diner. The diner was small and always smelled like coffee and fried food. Customers came and went, barely noticing the quiet girl refilling their cups. But sometimes, during slow hours, the cook would ask her to sing while she wiped tables. And she would. One evening, a businessman in a gray suit paused mid-bite while she softly sang an old blues song. He looked up, surprised. "You should audition for something," he said. Ava smiled politely. She had heard that before. Auditions required money for travel, money for recordings, money she didn't have. But something shifted that night. Instead of going straight home after work, she walked toward downtown. The city lights reflected off Lake Michigan, and tourists crowded the streets, laughing and taking photos. Ava stood near Millennium Park, opened her guitar case, and began to sing. At first, no one stopped. People hurried past, lost in their own worlds. Then a little girl tugged at her mother's sleeve and pointed. "Mommy, she sounds like an angel." The mother stopped. She listened. Soon, 2 more people paused. Then 5. Ava closed her eyes and sang like she was back in her living room, like her father was still sitting beside her, nodding proudly. Coins began to drop into her guitar case. Not many, but enough. She returned the next night. And the next. Weeks passed. Regular commuters started recognizing her. Some requested songs. Some recorded short clips on their phones. One rainy evening, when only a few people lingered under umbrellas, a young man with a camera tripod approached her. "My name's Daniel," he said. "I run a small YouTube channel. Can I record you?" Ava hesitated. She wasn't used to cameras. But she nodded. Daniel filmed her singing an original song she had written called "Broken Lights." The lyrics were about streetlights that flicker but never go out, about hope that refuses to die. He uploaded the video that night. At first, nothing happened. 10 views, 20. Then, 3 days later, something unexpected occurred. A popular music blogger shared the video, calling her Chicago's hidden voice. Within hours, the view count exploded, thousands, then hundreds of thousands. By the end of the week, Ava's performance had crossed 1 million views. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Local radio stations invited her for interviews. A small record label emailed, asking for a meeting. Even a talent scout from America's Got Talent reached out, encouraging her to audition. It felt unreal. The girl who once sang to empty sidewalks was now trending online. But fame is never as simple as it looks. With attention came criticism. Strangers commented on her clothes, on her hair, on her accent. Some said she was overrated. Some accused her of being another internet phase. The negativity hurt more than she expected. One night, overwhelmed, she considered quitting. She stared at her guitar and wondered if the street corner had been safer, smaller, but safer. Her mother found her crying in the kitchen. "Do you remember what your father used to say?" Her mother asked gently. Ava nodded through tears. "Music is truth. Then sing your truth, not theirs." Those words grounded her. She agreed to audition for America's Got Talent. The audition was held in Los Angeles. It was the first time she had ever been on a plane. When she walked onto the massive stage, bright lights blinded her for a second. The judges sat far away, their expressions unreadable. She thought about the sidewalk, the flickering streetlight, the little girl who called her an angel. And she began to sing. Her voice trembled at first. Then it steadied. She sang, "Broken Lights." Halfway through the song, the audience grew quiet. By the final note, there were tears in the crowd. One judge stood, then another. A standing ovation. She received 4 yes votes. The clip of her audition aired nationwide. Millions watched. Social media flooded with messages of support. But what mattered most wasn't the applause. It was the moment she stepped off stage and called her mother. "We did it," Ava whispered. As the competition progressed, she faced stronger contestants each round: dancers, magicians, powerhouse vocalists. Doubt crept in again. In the semifinals, she almost forgot a lyric. For a split second, panic flashed through her mind. But she looked into the audience and saw her mother in the front row. She kept singing. She didn't win the show. She finished in 3rd place. For some, that might have felt like failure. For Ava, it was the beginning. Record labels that once ignored her now competed to sign her. She chose a smaller label that promised creative freedom instead of instant pop stardom. Her first EP, titled Streetlight, was raw and personal. It debuted modestly, but steadily climbed charts through word of mouth. She returned to Chicago months later, not as a waitress, not as a street performer, but as a headlining artist at a mid-sized theater near downtown. Before the concert, she walked back to her old corner near Millennium Park. The same streetlight still flickered. She knelt down and gently touched the sidewalk. "This is where it started," she whispered. That night, the theater was sold out. As she stepped onto the stage, the crowd roared, but she waited for silence. When it came, she spoke softly. "I used to sing outside in the cold," she said. "And sometimes, no one stopped. If you have a dream and it feels invisible, keep going. Someone will hear you." Then she began, "Broken Lights." Thousands of voices joined her. Years later, Ava Thompson became one of America's most respected singer-songwriters. Not because she chased fame, but because she chased honesty. She funded music programs in underprivileged neighborhoods in Chicago. She bought her mother a small house near Lake Michigan. She even restored her father's old piano, tracking down the buyer and bringing it home. But every year, on the anniversary of her first viral video, she returned to that street corner. Not to perform, just to remember. Because talent is a gift. But perseverance is a choice. And somewhere, under a flickering streetlight in Chicago, a girl once chose not to give up. That choice changed everything. "If you want, I can also give." A viral YouTube title. Thumbnail text idea. Description for your singing storytelling channel. SEO hashtags. Emotional image prompts for thumbnails. Tell me which one you need for your channel.